So here we are going into the first game of my Essex Tier 4 tournament, and going into this game there was a lot of mixed feelings going on. In general, I was feeling really strong, really fit and ready for this tournament, obviously coming off the back of my best ever result at the Devon Tier 4 where I got a silver medal. However, for some reason there were still nerves going into this first match, maybe something to do with the fact that I had some people watching me. Maybe also because it was a hall that I didn't have much experience playing in. So all in all, I felt fairly confident in my game, but actually a little bit tight and nervous going on for this first one. You can see that as well in how the rallies are playing out. There's quite a lot of either winners or losers from both me and my opponent. Fair to say it was quite a scrappy start and neither of us were flowing or playing particularly well. Slightly better rally here, really good deception by my opponent, but lucky for me goes slightly out. Just a few bad decisions creeping in here, easy mistakes and also some poor shot selection as well. You can see my opponent had quite a good smash. Anything that was even just slightly short he was able to put away. This long clearing rally really taught me something in this game. Taught me that actually if I was keeping the lift deep then I didn't feel as under pressure, and also made me realise that in the early stages of this tournament I should be playing a little bit safer and just finding my shots. Frustration's starting to show here, just a few too many mistakes when I shouldn't be making them. And it's my opponent who's able to get to game point and put some pressure on. You see I made a few mistakes on my defensive blocks earlier, so here in the later stages, opting to re-lift these smashes where possible. And now I earn myself a game point opportunity and I'm able to convert it, 23-21. Really happy that I was able to dig in and clutch up on that first set, but I also knew that I needed to play a lot better than that. And again, going back to my point earlier, just opting to play some longer rallies now. Feeling like that was kind of a good strategy for my game, and yeah, felt like actually my opponent was starting to make a few more mistakes. Since winning that first set, I feel like I've loosened up, I've relaxed and regained my control. And my opponent seems to have done the opposite. He's stiffened up a bit, he's lost his touch, and making a few more mistakes. So going into the interval with an 11-1 lead, really happy with that. I think what really surprised me was how I wasn't doing anything crazy in order to be leading 11-1. All I was doing was playing safer shots, playing longer rallies, and not making the mistakes. Here I gamble on the net, get absolutely out of balance, and this just summed it up. My opponent making too many easy mistakes when he shouldn't be. And so still a 10-point lead here in the latter stage of this second set, so surely I'm able to see this one out now. First few game points come and go quite quickly. Just looks like my brain switched off a little bit. Another lucky break for my opponent. Now the luck has swung his way. From 29 up now to 20-15. This is where the nerves start to kick in. Luckily, after letting too many of those game points slip away, was able to see it out 21-15. So now into the second round match here against Leo. Another player I didn't know anything about before going into this game. But from the opening few rallies, I got a bit of a read on his game. He's obviously a very tall player. Didn't have the most explosive footwork, but had very good angles, especially on his attack. Able to get off to a good start here, 4-love lead, really just continuing that same mentality from the last game of trying to play the rallies and not make the mistake too early. Missed a really easy chance there. Need to stay focused. It's still very early in this game. If you haven't been able to tell already, the conditions in this hall were very slow. The temperature outside was very cold, which I think often slows down the speed of the shuttle. So that's why you're seeing some longer rallies, some really clear, heavy rallies. And I think that's why my game plan of playing quite a steady rally-style game was working quite well. And Leo's starting to get back a few more of the shots that earlier might have been winners now. And you can see the scoreline just getting a little bit closer. Wow, and that's a huge miss, bringing the score to 17-19. And after missing the previous kill, really happy to get that one as a winner. And again, quite a tight ending to that game. Was leading by quite a fair margin the whole time and just got a little bit too nervous at the end. And that momentum seemed to carry on at the start of this second set. Leo got off to a good start, but really I was just making a ton of mistakes on easy shots that I shouldn't have been. One thing that did feel really good on the day and watching it back I'm happy with is my attacking shots, my straight smash and my cross slice in particular. I think my game felt quite patchy in parts on this day, but when I was able to hit those winners, I was feeling very confident. Been able to take the lead at the mid-game interval here, 11-10, and as you've seen by the last few rallies, not doing anything crazy, just able to start winning a few points by playing a safer game. But after the interval, that goes completely out the window, with more mistakes creeping back in. And as you can hear, very happy with that one. Always good to pull off a dive and then win the rally. And this second set had felt like a much harder battle, with Leo getting more shots back and hitting some good winners, but just made a few mistakes in the end, leaving a couple of my serves that landed in, and that ultimately opened the door with game point opportunities at 20-14. And thankfully able to see it through. 21-17, 21-14 the scorelines. And then it was on to the quarter final. Now, if you've been watching my recent videos over the last 6 months, I've had a real quarter final curse. I think I played about 7 quarter finals and lost all of them. And even at the Devon Tier 4, where I won my silver medal, I actually didn't play a quarter final. So I'm yet to break that quarter final curse.
So some important context. Before I played this match, I was approached by 2 or 3 lads who had clearly played this guy in the box, and they were warning me, saying that this guy was quite unsportsmanlike and even said he was a cheat. Now, I'm always going to judge things like that for myself, but one thing they said was that this guy would not give me a knock-up, and sure enough, he did not give me a knock-up. He wasted all of the time and meant we had to go straight into the match basically cold. Another thing these lads had warned me about was they said that he had some very dodgy line calls, and sure enough, second point of this game, I hit a lift which I'm pretty sure was comfortably in, and he calls out. So with a bit of a disagreement here, I end up conceding the point, but luckily one of my friends goes and sits down behind his side of the court just to make sure it doesn't happen again.
He did the same thing with me. He did the same thing with me.
So after conceding that point, definitely going to celebrate the next one that I win. Opening a few rallies, it's clear that this guy is a good player. He's got a good attack, really good spinning net shot, and I could tell that his style of play was attack and follow up. And that makes it even more frustrating that this guy wasn't very sporting, taking really long between points, playing all these types of games. Just didn't need it. And you can see here his spin net is earning him a lot of points. There was a lot of times in this first 11 points where I wanted to kill it, but the net shot was just too tight. Starting to loosen up a bit now and able to hit a winner here, which felt good. Again, passing the shuttle back here hits it completely away from me. If things like this happened in an isolated incident, I would give them the benefit of the doubt, but when everything is happening, it just doesn't look good. We're fairly level here, but as we approach the 11-point mark, just forcing my shots a little bit, trying to hit winners too early, and again, setting him up for his net. And it's a few really easy mistakes, which brings us then to the interval of that first game. Now, it's just after the interval of that first game that the unthinkable happens. Yeah, on a flick serve, I step out, just try to play a normal slice and just completely go over on my ankle. I knew it was quite bad. I felt in quite a lot of pain at first. Then the adrenaline kicked in and I really didn't want to bow out. I was really invested in this match and I didn't want to retire, so I carried on. I'm able to win a few points immediately after the injury, and that gave me confidence, which, looking back, maybe wasn't a good thing. At this point, I didn't realise how badly injured my ankle was, and continuing to play on it was just doing more damage. Looking back, it makes complete sense why I was getting a bit more luck even after the injury. It's because I was forced to slow my game down, play with a little bit more patience, and this counteracted his attacking playstyle really well. In the second half of this first game, there was rarely more than a 2-point deficit either way. It was really close. Then towards the end of this first set, it starts to get away from me. The speed's not there, mistakes are creeping in, and ultimately I just can't move properly. The adrenaline starts to fade a little bit, and the ankle seizes up a little bit more. He ends with a flick serve on the same side where I rolled my ankle just 10 minutes earlier. I was way too tentative moving with any sort of speed into that corner anymore. After this first set, I was very confused at what to do. I was so invested in this match and certain that I could and wanted to beat this player, but my ankle was seizing up more and more, and it actually felt worse now than it did at moments after I injured it. I pressed on, and as you can see, I was moving okay around the rear court, but it's really lunging to the front, especially that forehand corner, that I just couldn't do anymore. Another point here showing the exact same thing. I just could not lunge to that corner anymore, and my opponent knew it. The match was over. I knew it, but I didn't want to retire. I finished the match off losing to 14 and 10 in the 2 sets. Now, I want to make something very clear. While I don't agree with my opponent's tactics and unsportsmanlike conduct, I also don't have an issue with him, and I understand that all players do things like this to an extent to gain a competitive advantage. Do I think that the fact that I didn't get a knock-up increased the chances of me rolling my ankle? Probably. But was it the sole reason? Absolutely not. And I may have rolled my ankle regardless of whether I had a good warm-up or not. As well as this, I could have done a more thorough warm-up myself before entering onto court, and this could have prevented or reduced my risk of injury. So well played to my opponent, and I really do hope that we can run it back on court again when I'm 100% fit. So that's it. This tournament ended in disaster, but hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video where I'll be showing my road to recovery.